Hey everybody, this is Bridget Danner with Women's Wellness Collaborative, and today we are talking about seed cycling. So what is seed cycling? So seed cycling is using different nuts and seeds at different phases of your cycle. However, it's not just for cycling women. It could be used if you're not getting your cycle for some reason. It could be used if you're menopausal or perimenopausal. I just learned it can even be used for men. So basically when we add these seeds, we're adding some nutrition to build our hormones. So no matter, where you are in your life stage, it could be useful for you. So first let's just go over what seeds we use. So on day 1 to 14 of your cycle, you use these two seeds, flaxseed and pumpkin seed. Flax and pumpkin, day 1 to 14. We always want to use raw, and then I keep these in the fridge. We don't really want to buy these ground, and we don't want to grind them way ahead of time, because once you open the seed up, it starts to oxidize, it starts to become less healthful. So we always want to have them raw and whole. So that's day 1 to 14. So if you're wondering, well, what if I'm not getting my cycle because it's missing, or because I'm menopausal, or because I'm a man, you can do basically start day 1. Day 1 is the first day of your cycle, the first day you bleed, or you could start at the new moon when there's no moon. Or you can start anytime. It doesn't exactly matter. Like if you don't know when your cycle's coming, if it's irregular, you can kind of start it whenever, or you can go with the moon. So you go with new moon day 1, and then day 14 is around when the moon is full, and you go like that. So flax and pumpkin, day 1 to 14. And then if you want to do some additional stuff, day 1 to 14, you can concentrate on getting DHA and EPA from fish oil or algae or hemp oil in that phase. Okay, so now phase 2, and we get the question a lot, what if my period is off, my cycle is off? Still, you want to do 14 and 14, even if your body isn't syncing up with that quite yet. So next is S and S, sunflower and sesame. Again, these are whole and raw, and I just try to remember S and S together for the last part of the cycle. And you don't actually have to do both at once if you don't have both or whatever, but you certainly can. And basically, and then I'll mention the supplement that can go with the second part of the cycle is evening primrose oil or borage oil. And I prefer borage oil because it has a higher concentration of the fatty acid that boosts your progesterone in the second part of the cycle. So first part of the cycle, we're boosting estrogen. Second part, progesterone. So the two parts of the cycle go together, hand in hand. So if you have a problem with the second part of your cycle, you don't just ignore the first part, because the first part is when we build the egg that's released, and then from that corpus luteum, we call it, it makes progesterone. So actually, even if you just hypothetically boosted the first part of your cycle, you can still support the second part of your cycle. They go hand in hand. And if you're worried about boosting estrogen, this is like a good kind of estrogen you're boosting, and it actually helps balance out the ratio of bad estrogens that can promote things like breast cancer. So great if you're postmenopausal, perimenopausal, even if you're trying to get pregnant and you're just trying to boost your estrogen. As we go into perimenopause or menopause and our ovaries aren't producing hormones so much anymore, we want to juice up our bodies with those hormones, and this is a way to do it. So the dosing is about 2 tablespoons a day. So you can do 1 and 1, or if you just have one of the seeds, just do 2 tablespoons. So I'm on the second phase of my cycle right now, so I'm going to do 1 and 1 of sesame and sunflower. And beyond the things that help balance our hormones, which does include nutrition, there's lots of great nutrition in nuts and seeds. If you don't tolerate them well, you could soak them first. We're going to grind them, and that's going to help our digestion because it's easier to break down, but you could also just soak it first overnight. So in my mind, sunflower and sesame are a little bit more like savory. So I'm working on some recipes to play around with that. And we'll share a couple as a kind of companion. So this grinder I have, it's kind of like a coffee grinder, but I wrote on here, only for nuts and seeds, no coffee beans, because I don't want people to put coffee in here and then I have to clean it out. So they're not very expensive, so this is a great way. Or if you have some other kind of blender, you can do it here. But since you don't need many seeds, you can leave this little grinder out and just every morning make your little... And really just like depending on how much texture you want. I mean, that already grounded to pretty much like a flour, but there's some chunks. So you could just put this like on top of a salad, on top of like a porridge type of thing. You can like mix it into a stir fry like at the end. There's lots of things you could do. We are going to do a couple recipes like I said, and there's more recipes you could experiment with too. So those are our seed cycling basics.